Well, joining us tonight, Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Congressman, great to have you with us. And it is strange to see the Senate back in the nation's capital, but the House not.
Yeah, the House should be working. I mean, with the House not working, that only gives Nancy Pelosi more power and gives China a pass. You know, when you do not plan, you actually plan to fail. And that's what's happening here. That's why we laid out as Republicans a plan to open Congress back up. Because it's more than just opening a campus. This is restoring the voice of every American that their government needs to be working during this critical time. We could bring committees back to do that critical work on those bills that can be bicameral, could actually become law, not political, like national defense, the water resources bill. We should be doing appropriations, and oversight should be studying the World Health Organization because of what they have been able to do and harm the rest of the world in this process.
Well, I presume that you've talked with Pelosi. I presume that there are negotiations underway. But can you in any way explain why she would not want to have the House of Representatives in session?
Well, if they're not in session, it gives her a great deal amount of power, where she can write a $1 trillion, $2 trillion bill and then bring everybody back, and that's all they can vote on. So the American public does not have a voice in it. That's why committees should start coming back. Committees, you could bring a few at a time. You don't open all Congress at once. They can meet in bigger rooms so they have social distancing. Once you pass the bill and it's worked through, then you can take it up on the floor, bring people back to vote. But right now, it provides her more power by not having people here. But one thing that it does do, Lou, it takes away the voice of all the American public. Last time she came back, she wanted to change the voting rights on the floor. Every American loans their power to their congresswoman or congressman. She wanted to be able to collect those 200 proxies so she could cast one vote for the rest of the nation.
Amazing. Let's take a look at the plan. We have a graphic for your plan to reopen Congress, and let's assume that Speaker Pelosi is watching Lou Dobbs tonight. I'm sure she does every evening.
She should.
But here we go. Yeah, absolutely. McCarthy's four-stage plan. Let's begin with strategy one, to modify existing practices and structures and to employ a phased return with committees. Explain the first two elements.
Well, the first thing you do is change the policy on the floor. So you wouldn't give 15 minutes to vote. What we proved before, we'd bring people in by the alphabet. So there was not more than 50 people on the floor, so you had social distancing. I would start with committees, those committees that are most critical of bills we have to get done. Appropriations. Bring the subcommittees of appropes in, give them a bigger room so they could deal with the funding of government. The armed services for national defense, we need to have that done. We'll let them meet inside the chambers for social distancing. Don't bring political amendments up. Once those bills are done, then you would go to the third mechanism, that you would schedule for the entire Congress to come back and to vote on that. Now, I believe there's ability to have hybrid, that you can have conversations, but you should not have the markup of the bill until you're all together. You know, we get attacked by 1.6 billion times a month. People coming into our technology. That's with a B, billion. And we know that people think, oh, technology is okay to move through. But could you imagine the Intel Committee to be dealing with this and having the technology and people hacking into what's going on with Congress? That would be a problem. But we can do this in a safe manner. The Democrats control California, and the Speaker of the House is calling them back to work this week, even though that's California, that's a Democrat speaker, the governor's shutting down California, but he's calling people back. We are essential, and we should be working. You know, the doctors, the delivery drivers, the dispatchers, they're working to help America get through this pandemic. I think Congress should as well.
The president, I'm curious what your thoughts are. I'm not sure that he would entirely miss Speaker Pelosi nor be too excited about her return. Give us your sense of that.
Well, you know, I was talking to the president today. He realizes Congress needs to do their job, and he thinks we should be working. You know, the one thing that the speaker did set up as some type of another impeachment committee. She has the time to do that instead of spending the time for the voice of the American public. This is something we need to make sure happens, that Congress does the essential work. Now, I was in Home Depot and Lowe's this weekend. They put up plexiglass with the cashiers. We can put up plexiglass in areas that you have heavy traffic. The public is still not coming in, but you can do this in a safe manner. And you can start with committees, bring 3-4 committees back first, do their work, then bring it to the floor for a vote. Have the vote last longer so everybody's not at the floor at the same time. And you could be it in a safe manner, but have the essential work of Congress getting done.
Congressman Kevin McCarthy, always good to have you with us. Thanks so much for joining us.